Alright, so this time I've got my Easter Twilight Night. See, I'm gonna open her up. I actually have already opened her up for a for like a monthly unboxing video, but there she is, complete with all her stuff. She's actually a really nice sculpt, like really nice. So she gets a couple of art cards that are great. I love the black background art as well. I actually didn't see if there wasn't anything on the back. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. So let me get right to that. Alright, I'm gonna just put all this stuff out here. I love that she has actual, like, I'm gonna have to change my zoom here. Not my zoom, my focus, sorry. There we go, that should be a little better. I love that it's little, little rabbit monster hatchlings on the base. Should be a lot of fun. Sorry about the shaky camera. I'm trying to keep the focus right, and I keep having to touch the camera to do that. So, I'm just going to clean up the base. I'm actually going to paint her on this base, because it's very appropriate. So, I'm going to clean up. Nope, I've got to actually cut that. I was going to just shave it off, but I've got to actually cut it off. There we go. Now I can shave it off. Usually if you get too much resistance in a mini, that means that when it does finally give, you'll pull too hard and hurt yourself. So if you're getting a lot of resistance from a miniature, just leave it. Alright, there are a lot of different little bits here. It looks like some bunny ears for her. The little adult feral rabbit thing. So I'm going to cut that off first. So I'm going to be careful of its ears. I'm going to get, there we go. There's this little bit left in between, but I want to make sure not to cut off too much on accident. So. And as I cut parts out, I tend to try to keep them clean. That way there's less for me to worry about. And I catch things as I see them, which makes it a lot easier in the long run. You'll probably miss something. You'll probably have to come back, but... There we go. And then I'll get her bunny ears and her arm off here. These I'm just going to cut them all out, and then I'll figure it out everything after. There we go. I'm going to have to dry fit her legs just to figure it out. And it looks like they did plan it so that there are little dots. Sorry, I'm trying to stay centered. There are little dots for putting the ears on, which is nice. Alright, that's done. I'm gonna look at her body. It looks like there are some pieces that I gotta worry about. There's a pretty big mold line on her on the front. Oh, she's very scantily clad. I like it. So she's like in a Jessica Rabbit dress. It's actually pretty awesome. Is that? And there are, I see the holes for her ears on the side, but there's a pretty big gap actually in her hood. I'm gonna look it up really quick. I don't think that is supposed to be there. Nope, it's supposed to be flat, so I'm gonna have to repair that, maybe with a little green stuff or some creative filing. So there's actually one of the worst I've seen, actually, a really big divot in her hood. I'm going to just try to shave off the parts around it, and then I'll file it out to try to even it out. But yeah, there's a pretty big hole there. There. That's not so bad. It looked worse than it was. Sorry. Yeah, that's not bad at all. Surprised. Cool. Thought it was horrible. Not bad at all. And that looks like this ear. But again, double check. It could be this ear. Nope, I think it's that ear. So this ear must be this one. Oop, come here. Maybe. We'll have to see. We'll definitely have to see on that one. Okay. Now, with this like swirling mist thing, I'm not exactly sure where that attaches. So I'm actually going to have to look up the photos to know exactly. Okay, she's holding it. Okay. That's going to be really precarious. But that means that these pegs here were just from the mold and they don't need to be there. So. Alright, I'm going to look at her ears really quick too. Her little guy is actually grabbing onto, like he's munching on her ear. That's why it looks a little weird. Yeah, he's munching on her ear. And then he's holding onto the back of her hood. So that's going to be interesting. But everything else looks fine. So. Sorry, I'm just creatively planning here. It's a pity. I hope they keep them up. That's part of the problem is... That's why I'm trying to do these build guides right away, is because... From now on, is because they don't keep the art up all the time. And then it's hard to find because nobody saves it. So this part here actually attaches... Oh, it's like a rabbit. Interesting. I didn't think it looked like one, but it is. It's like spectral one. Interesting. Cool. Alright, so I'm going to get her put together. She's like a cross between Jessica Rabbit and Link. Which fits the Twilight Night thing. Okay. Alright, it's a pretty big mold line right here. Alright, should be able to file it though. So there's a big mold line right here. I don't know if yours is going to be the exact same. Because they mass produced them. They sold out pretty quick, but they actually made quite a few, so. Which means they're all going to be a little different. Okay. I'm trying to look at it at all angles too to make sure that I get it. Because once I prime it, it's going to be very noticeable. And this one I'm actually going to switch to a fine file as well. To smooth out that angle, that edge. There we go. Normally it's not necessary, but this time it is. Okay, so that leg is done. Now I'm working on her arm. Might have to hit her sword with the heat gun. I don't want to bend it, but I might have to hit it with the heat gun just to straighten it out. We'll see. Yep. Wanted to see if this nub was for something. It's not. This is on under her left leg. Another mold line back here. I don't think this angle is actually going to be that identifiable, but just in case. I think you were a little too excited about that Jabberwock. I just saw that. You're like, yes! Like, a little too much excitement. Oh, nice. I'm glad you were able to pick one up then, Jabberwock. That's great. Well, now you'll have a pretty good guide on how to build it. So I will post this on YouTube as well, so if you need to reference it later, it'll be up there. I do my uploads on Sundays, so and then I only release one a day, so it takes a little while for it to trickle down. So it may take a week or two to get up there, but it'll be up there, I promise. Yeah, that mold line is pretty bad. I've got some grooves. I'm trying to smooth them out, but... yes, Arbadios, it is resin, and the lag at the center screen is because I'm using a capture card into my computer. And my computer is not good enough for a better one. So there's lag because I am poor. That's why. Alright. And yes, this is definitely resin. Nope, I added too much glue. It's not a bad thing, it's just you gotta notice. Nope, come on, stop it. Head to kingdomdeath.com, and that's where they usually come up. Right around the middle of the month, they'll restock their store with new stuff. Models like this one were very limited release. Like this one released just for Easter, and it sold out pretty quick. No, but there are no retailers that sell them. Not a single one. I think that's their plan eventually, but they sell out so quick because it's kind of a boutique item that it's really hard to get a hold of most of the time. I'm checking out the so they're supposed to be holding it like that, pointed down, I guess. Oh, there's actually a hole. That's what that is. There's actually a hole for the hilt and everything. That's what these defects are. I thought they were like, yeah, kingdomdeath.com. Just look at the title at the bottom and just type that in. Yeah, based in Japan. They're the only place. I bought from them before. I actually got my Infant Sunstalker from them. They even had a copy of the game when it was sold out. Had to pay through the nose, though, for shipping. But... And I don't even own that copy of the game anymore, but... A friend got it. Alright, sorry, I'm trying to position this. I dry fit it earlier, but now I'm trying to make sure that... Oh, that's definitely annoying. The perfect spot for the sword also means there's this huge gap in her arm. See that? It's a huge, like, 1.5 millimeter gap. And there's literally nothing I can do about it right now. So I just have to, like, either green stuff it or, like, I'm going to have to gap fill it. So, fortunately, I've got some Hobby Light. It's a nice gap filler that is sandable. Sorry, there you go. Hobby Light filler. That should help me out here. Just putting a little on my the end of my X-Acto, and I'll just kind of ease it in there as best I can. Unfortunately, there's no way I knew to put the legs on second. So if you're seeing this, try putting the legs on this leg on after, or maybe attach the sword to the leg and then try to center it. Otherwise, you'll have to do what I do and use some gap filler. It looks fine now, but it's still annoying that I had to do that at all. Yeah, much better. She looks fine now. There we go. I got a little under here. Get rid of that. There we go. Yeah, I'm actually tempted. I think what I'm going to do is take all the pinups from this set, at least the plastic ones, and run them as Daemonettes in 40K. Maybe for a kill team or something. That should be a lot of fun. There's a slight mold line on her butt. Very slight, so I'm going to take one of my sanders. Okay. So I got her to work. This one I've got to be very careful. The angle is not so important here on her left arm, but I've got very little work with in terms of the spot that will be glued. Oh, Mark just dropped the model. That helps. Not really. Fortunately, she's not as fragile as most, so. Well, see, that's my problem. Got the right contact point, but I'm trying to get the arm to actually stick. It's like a slice through a cone, is what it looks like. Come on, don't glue to me. Stop it. Stop it. It's still gluing to me. Come on. Come on now. Do what I want. Because this is what's going to hold up that entire crazy spiral thing that goes around her. So I gotta make sure this is good. It looks like there's a little bit of a gap, but that's actually not as bad as it looks. No, they're doing their 1.5 version, Sailor Jeff, but they'll make extra copies. Yep, and they will sell it at Gen Con as well. Although I think it'll sell out pretty quick at Gen Con. Mostly because of scalpers, unfortunately. When it goes up on eBay, it sells out pretty quick, so... Okay, so I'm going to touch her little rabbit friend. Her little one here that's trying to eat her. Actually, no, I attached her ears first. So, ear number 1. This is the one that's actually more straight than the other one, or more round, because the other one is actually being nibbled on by her little friend. So there's the first ear. And now the second ear. Nope, there's a little nub. I didn't see it. There's a nub from the mold on the back right here, right under here. There we go. She's looking good. Yeah, I got the witches done, Ronnie. All right. So I'm sorry, I'm just double checking to make sure I'm attaching the little guy right. Yeah, he literally attaches right here. That's gonna be so weird. That's like the most fragile attachment point ever. It's supposed to be like nibbling on her ears, I guess. I think I'm going to attach it at multiple points, though. This little jerk is going to be annoying to paint. There we go. Alright, last piece. I got to figure out where this goes. Yeah, I think this definitely glues to her sword, or I want it to anyway. So I'm gonna glue this. Yeah, this thing is definitely a showpiece. It's a beautiful miniature. No wonder they made sure to limit everybody to just 2, because it's gorgeous. So I'm attaching. I'm gluing the part here too, just in case. So I glued it. I glued it here under the ears where it's supposed to be. Sorry, I'm trying to keep this in frame. I glued it under here where the ears are supposed to be, and I also glued it where the sword is here. Depends on how you put it together, because the angle of this might be a little different depending on where you glue it here. But mine is perfect for that. There she is. I don't know if I'm going to glue her on just yet. But there she is. All done. She was actually really fun to put together. A lot easier than some of them. I was lucky to get one. She's going to be a heck of a lot of fun to paint too. One of my favorite sculpts. I really hope they redo her in plastic because she's amazing.